Hello, everyone. Hello. Today we are going to be diving into how to organize your entire life in one book. This has been something that I have been doing for quite some time, for a couple of years. However, I know that there are certain people that are new to my channel and to my system. And also, there are some people who may have seen my system, but want to kind of create one on their own, and they're trying to figure out exactly how to do that. So that is what we're going to be diving into in today's class. But first, if this is your very first time jumping on, hello, let me know where you are joining me from. Make sure that you put it in the chat box, say hello to everyone, and we are going to dive into how to organize your entire life in this one book. This class is basically inspired by me setting up my quarterly goals. So this is the last week of March that we are currently in. And every single quarter, I will set up brand new goals. I will decide how I'm going to structure my entire upcoming quarter. And that is what I'm inspiring you to do today. So this class is really based off of the 12-week year. If you've never heard of this book, it's an amazing book that really helps to guide you into achieving like better results with your goals. So instead of setting annual goals, this book inspires you to set quarterly goals. And so I was already doing like kind of planning my life in quarters. I was already doing that. However, this book really kind of helped me to develop my clear system of making sure that I was organizing my entire life in one book using the system of setting it up by quarters or setting it up by 90 days. And so if you've never heard of my Tom 90 system, it's a Tom 90 is my planner that I use to organize my entire life in one book. It's the structure, it's the strategy that I teach is organizing your entire life in one book. And that is what we're going to be diving into today, like how to do that. So if you're brand new over here, hi, I'm Elena, and I am the owner of The Organized Money. I'm an accountant, I'm a coach, I'm a content creator, I am a writer. I help people organize their life, their money, and their business. Mostly we are talking about on paper around here. However, you can definitely use the things that I talk about and put it in the app, put it in Excel, however you decide to organize your life. I talk a lot about organizing it on paper though. I do have a planner shop where I talk a lot about how to use planners and downloads and stickers in order to organize your life. I also have an Organize You membership where I help and I do classes every single week. We'll do it every other Thursday over on Organize You. This week we are doing a book club. So Organize You members, remember we have our book club this upcoming Thursday. And I also do one-on-one coaching. So if you want to do a one-on-one session with me, in the description box of this video, you will see my link to book a one-on-one. I just opened up my book again to where I can start doing one-on-ones again. So I'm really, really excited about that. But like I said, today we are going to be talking about how to organize your life in one book, how to organize everything in one spot. So today is the 26th. That's what we're diving into. Remember, the book review is going to be this Thursday for Organize You members. And then Friday, I'm going to be posting my April reset, my April monthly reset, how we basically set up everything for the entire month. So hello, everyone. I see you all in the chat box. Hello, thank you all so much for joining me for today's class. We are going to be diving into basically the system of how to organize your life in one book. Now, I've talked in specifics in different videos about my Tom 90 planner, about how I specifically use it. But in today's class, I wanted to be a little bit more general and really dive into the system itself, how it comes, just like what the planner looks like, and how you can use it if you decide to use this system. So let's go ahead and dive into the specifics of the overview of what my planner looks like. So I call it the one book that helped me organize my entire life, but it's also called my Tom 90 Planner. If you've never heard me say Tom before, Tom stands for the organized money. So I know a lot of times I will say Tom this and Tom that, and people will ask, who's Tom? Well, Tom is the organized money. It is just another way of saying the organized money. So my Tom 90 Planner is a disc bound system. Why do I feel like you should have a disc bound system? Is because it makes it completely customizable. This means I can take pages out, I can add pages in, I can adjust based on what's going on in my life. And I feel like that is a really big part of however you are trying to plan out your life, is that it is adjustable, that you can make changes, that you can pull things out, that you can add things in, that you can easily put in different sheets that you may need to put in. So because of that, mine is an 8.5 by 11 planner. Now you could definitely do smaller. I also have it as a 7 by 9.25. I like the bigger size because a lot of times if I'm printing a bill or printing a sheet of paper, I can just stick it into my planner. And I absolutely love that I can just kind of punch it and put it in my planner or add it and in a folder in the very back of my planner. So the reason why I talk about this system so much, and I recommend that you use it in order to help you to organize everything, is because it has one spot that helps you to organize your entire life, and you are no longer looking for things. So what would happen in the past with me is that I would write things in different notebooks. I've always been a notebook girl. I've always been a planner type of girl, or having multiple planners. But the problem is that I would write on some sheet of paper and then I would lose it, or I would forget where I had put that particular thing. So I would either write it in a separate notebook and then forget the notebook that I wrote it in. Put it in the chat box if that's ever happened to you. Or I would write it on a post-it note or on the back of an envelope, and then I would put that somewhere and I would lose it. And it was a habit that just like kept happening, where I kept telling myself, no, I'm going to remember where I put this. I would always think that I was going to remember, and then I never did. I never, I always lost it. I always forgot where it was. And so once I did that a couple of times, it happened probably like 4 or 5 times. I said, you know what? I really, really need to focus in on having a good system where I can keep everything in the same spot. I'm tired of having multiple things where I'm just always looking for notes that I know that I wrote down. I just don't know where I wrote it down. It's in either this notebook or on that post-it note, or was I writing on the back of this envelope? It was always that. It was always that thing. And so I tried multiple planners for about a year or two. And then ultimately I said, I need to have everything in one spot. Fell in love with the disbound system and ultimately decided to create this one book, this one spot that was going to help me to organize everything, hence my Tom 90 planner. So today we're going to dive into the 4 sections that automatically come with this planner if you decide to get it, or the 4 sections that I think if you're going to create your own and you're not going to use the Tom 90 system, that's fine. I definitely still want to recommend 4 sections that you should have within your system. Now, mine can have 4 to 6 sections. I currently have 6 sections within my Tom 90 planner. However, some people's lives aren't as busy as mine. They may not need as many sections. However, I usually recommend these 4. I always recommend these 4. And so that is what we're going to dive into today. So let's talk about the very first section that you should have within your Tom 90 planner, or within your planner system as a whole, one book to organize your entire life. And that is an hourly planner, or some type of way to stay on top of your schedule. So the very first planner planner I keep within my system is my catch-all planner. I always recommend having some type of catch-all planner, especially if you're a multiple planner type of girl. The way that my Tom 90 planner is set up, it is set up in 6 sections. So because I have 4, 5, 6 sections at one time, you need a hub. You need one spot where you can kind of glance and look at everything that is possibly coming up. And so that is how I use my schedule planner. My schedule planner is an hourly planner. It is an hourly planner that helps me to time block my entire day. Now, this could be a vertical planner for you. It could be a horizontal planner for you, however you like to see your schedule, but you need a spot where you plan out your entire week. And I will do this in my Tom 90 planner, especially when I have an upcoming quarter coming up. I will look at the entire 3 months that are coming up and think about all the things that I have to do within those 3 months. What goals am I looking to accomplish within the next 3 months? As we think about April, May, and June that are coming up, what goals do you want to accomplish within those 3 months? It's easier to think about the 3 months that you want to do instead of thinking about what you're going to accomplish in all 12 months. So within those 3 months, I'm thinking about, what do I want to do within my business? What do I want to do within my home? I'm thinking about how I'm going to structure or schedule my day around these things. So in this planner, I am thinking about the 3 months that are coming up. I'm thinking about the goals that I have. I'm thinking about all of the places that I need to go within these 3 months. The top 4 things, the top things that I need to do, not all of the things that I need to do, but my top priorities, the top things that I'm trying to accomplish. And this planner serves as a hub. It has a little bit of everything. So if you've ever seen me plan in this planner, I always call it my most important planner. I will keep within this planner, I have like the top to-dos of everything that I would like to accomplish. I also have when I want to work out, when I want to work on my home things, when I am at work. And I will even right across the top, I'll add what bills need to be paid at a certain time. And the reason why I like to do this is because, like I said, this is the most important planner that I have. It is my catch-all planner. It is my hub. It is everything that I need in one spot. And so even if I can't get into all of the details, I will look at this planner to try and see an overview of my entire week. So as you can see, it's a week on 2 pages. I will look at from 6 a.m. until around 10 p.m. And I'm planning out every single day and looking at the big things that I want to accomplish on this day. We're not getting into all of the details within this planner. I am basically writing in the hub, the bigger things that I want to accomplish in every single area. So the top of my planner from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m. is always dedicated to my routines, my mornings, what's going to happen as soon as I wake up, my faith planning, my Bible study, all of that happens in the very morning times from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m. From 9 a.m. until around 5 p.m. is my work time. So I am going to be scheduling out all the things that are happening for work, any client calls that I have, any meetings that I need to have. All of that is going to happen between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. And then in the evening from around 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. is when I'm going to be planning evening, family, home, chores, things that I just need to do around that. So this planner serves as the hub of everything. If you say, you know what, I have a very minimal life, I don't have a lot going on, I only need this particular setup, then that may work really, really well for you, where you're just saying, you know what, I don't have that much going on. This one planner is the planner. I can just use that. I like to still break it down even further, but I always say, if I had to toss every single planner that I have, I would never toss this one. This one is definitely the hub. This is the one that I use the most. This is the one that I talk about on my channel the most, because I feel like this is the one that if you needed to set it up or organize your entire life, you could definitely do it with this one. I also like to add in meal plans on my sidebar from time to time. I will add my meals actually on my planner from time to time. I will add in breakfast and dinner. You can see it here at the bottom sometimes. I will add in my workouts on this one. It really is my hub, and it is definitely the most important planner that I have within my system. So this is the schedule. This is, like I said, it comes with the Time 90 planner, and you get 3 months of an hourly planner as you are using this one. This is the entire system is basically set up to help you plan out an entire quarter, 12 weeks of your entire life. So the very first one, like I said, is the schedule planner. And I believe that this one is the most important because it helps you stay on top of your day and helps you to plan your entire day. Let's see. I love an hourly. It's hard to find one for my needs, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. in half-hour segments. Tried making my own in Excel, but I can't get it to fit into two page spread with large enough spacing. That is exactly why mine is not a half hour. I would love half hour setup. That would probably be my ultimate favorite type of planner. However, if I do the half hour setup, it reduces the spacing so much. I have not been able to find any type of planning system that allows for a half hour on a 2-page spread for a weekly planner. Usually it's only like that for my dailies. And that's why I also have dailies where I will schedule from 6 a.m. until 3 a.m. and I will break it down even further. So you may want to look for a daily planner. If the weekly does not fit your need, you may want to look for a daily planner, because usually you can find a daily that is able to give you the half hour because you're able to have a little bit more space. So just an idea there. Okay, let's go into the next one. The next planner that I believe you should have to help you to organize your entire life in one book, and that is a dashboard planner. So within my Tom 90 system, I have 3 months of a dashboard planner. 3 months of my dashboard planner serves as my to-do list. Now, this one has adjusted from time to time. Sometimes I will use it for just work. I would use it for just work or just social media or just my home stuff. There are so many ways that you can use a dashboard planner. However, the best way, the most effective way that I have used it is a to-do planner. I love being able to schedule all of my to-dos across all of the different things that are across all of my life categories. So for instance, I have my personal to-dos. I also have my church to-dos. The organized money has things that I need to do for that. And I will also add in filming, social media and things like that. But I will put all of that within my dashboard planner. So I believe you can use a dashboard planner if you have a lot of lists or things that you are trying to schedule out that you want to do on a particular day. But I feel like this planner is best for lists. I love it for home cleaning lists, meal planning lists, social media lists, work lists, home lists, personal health management, all of that. I feel like this planner is a really, really good planner for that. And being able to have all of the things that you need to do in one spot is so effective. It is so, so, so incredibly helpful to not have to look in multiple places for all of the things that you need to do. What I started to do is keep everything in this one spot so that if I am working on a particular area with, let's say in my schedule planner, I say from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. I am working. I will flip to my to-do planner and say, okay, what on this list do I need to complete for this week? What do I need to do? And then I will look at my list of everything that I need to complete on my to-do section or in my dashboard planner, and I will check them off as I go during that time frame. So while I'm working, I will have this page open, and then I am just kind of going section by section, list by list, and looking at the things that I have to do here. Why does this help you? This helps to ease your anxiety. First, we need to brain dump. You can't keep all of your to-dos in your head. If you keep all of your to-dos in your head, you're more than likely going to feel overwhelmed. You're more than likely going to feel burned out. And it's because what normally happens is we have this list of these things in our head, and then we start to feel like we don't have time to complete the things because we don't have a plan around how we're going to complete them. We don't know what time we're going to complete them. We don't know what day we're going to complete them. And so we start to feel overwhelmed by all of the different tasks. So the best thing to do is to first look in your schedule and say, what time do I have set aside? Maybe I have 2 hours that I can work on all of the things that I want to do for my home or for my cleaning. And so once you set aside that time, once I say from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m., I am going to work on my house or I'm going to clean my house. Then I could look at my dashboard planner, create a to-do list of all the things that I want to do from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in my home and add that list here. And it could be, I want to complete my laundry. I want to do, wipe down all my counters. I want to do my dishes. I want to mop. I want to sweep. I want, like, writing down all of that list. And then little by little, you can check each one of those things off within the time frame that you have allotted for those tasks. It makes it much easier and it makes it flow. It makes you like kind of go into more of a flow and just kind of checking things off one by one instead of feeling so razzled. Like I don't know, I just have so much to do. I just have so much in my head and I can't get it all out, right? And it's usually because we have not fully planned out. We haven't thought through all of the things that we need to do. We haven't thought through the money that we need to spend. We haven't thought about the work that we need to complete or the deadline that needs to be done by. And so what this planner does for you, having a to-do section, even if it's not a dashboard planner, I have definitely done this as a vertical planner as well, where I will just write out everything that I need to complete in all different areas of my life in those 3 different vertical boxes. The only reason why I ultimately decided to switch from a vertical to a dashboard is because I really needed 4 sections. Like I wanted one for my home, I wanted one for my church, things that we have to do for the church. I wanted one thing for the organized money. And I also, sometimes I will either use it, my 4th one for either social media or for my health goals, like things like working out or doing my face routine or my hair routine, whatever the case may be. I like having all 4 of these sections. So how can you use this? Think about the sections that you need to create. How many life categories do you have? And we're not talking about all of the little things that you need to do. I am not talking about like meal planning, and that is a part of your home routine, or thinking about the life sections as a whole. So for me, home includes family planning, marriage planning, like date nights and things like that, meal planning, outfit planning, all of that can go under my home category. So that's one big category for me. My second one might be work, because that is a completely different category where I have different deadlines and different things that I need to complete under there. And then my third category could be my church, right? So for our church, we have different meetings that are happening and different deadlines that are going on and different events that we are doing. So think about each one of the big areas of your life and think about how you normally will plan for those. So do I do a separate planner for my kids? I do not. So my kids are close in age. They are 9 and 12 right now. My youngest is about to have her 10th birthday. So it's like 10 and 12. So Since they are so close in age, a lot of the different things, I don't have to have separate planners for them. They both go to the same school. Basically, their routine and their schedule is pretty much the same. They have small, slight changes when it comes to their extracurricular activities, where I might have to bring one to band practice and the other one might be going to acting class. That definitely differs. But when it comes to when they're out of school and the routines that kind of are revolving around their day-to-day life, it's pretty much the same. We're pretty much doing the same thing. So I don't have a completely separate planner for them. I don't have a separate planner for them. I will use my to-do planner and my schedule planner to plan out a lot of their things. Like I said, I will have one box that is dedicated to my home, or to the things that I need to do for our house. And that will be where I will put all of their different sections as well. So I'm going to, let me see if I can show it to you all real quick. But one thing that I will usually do is within my, so I'm about to flip to my to-do planner right now so I can show you exactly what it looks like. But as you can see, I have an entire section dedicated to personal. And actually, my daughter did have a dentist appointment this morning. It was earlier this morning. I had to pull her out and bring her back to school. So I will put under my personal section that she had something scheduled for this morning and that I wanted to make sure that I did it. And then I also will add into my schedule planner what the exact appointment that she had. I'll put it on my schedule appointment as well. So both planners tell me exactly what needs to happen on a particular day, and then I will check it off as I go. I will also add in, like, for instance, when I check this off, I know I had to pay a copay for her dentist appointment. So I'm going to write that in here as well. I'm going to check it off and then write in how much the copay was, because it is super helpful for me to know how much these things have cost me. And then I can plan our budget better. So we have a church, my personal, organize money, things I need to do. This is deadlines for like articles that I'm writing and other things that I need to complete for like brands, and then the filming schedule. So as you can see, this is the left side of my dashboard planner, and I use it for lists. I even have real ideas here. Yours could be the exact same way. You could have home, you could have your health, you could have your work, you could have like cleaning routines, meal plans. It is completely up to you how you want to do this particular style. But I do not separate them because I don't have to have a complete separate one for each kid. However, if you have multiple kids or they have a very big schedule, like they have a lot going on, you may need, that may be a bigger category for you. Like in the long run, once my kids become a little bit older and they're more involved and they have a lot of different, their schedules start to change, I may adjust that. I might say, you know what, I need a separate planner that is completely dedicated to them and their schedules. So like I said, it will adjust from time to time. What planner am I using? I am using my Tom 90 planner, which is a completely customizable planner that I created, and it has 4 different sections. That's what we're talking about today, is the 4 sections within my planner and how you could possibly use them as well. It's linked in the description box if you're interested in this one. However, even if you wanted to take this system and apply it to another planner, I believe you could. I definitely believe you could. I believe you could create your own system. I also believe you could have them in separate books. However, I think that having them in separate planners makes it a little bit more challenging if you're always on the go, or if you don't have a system to where you can look in each one of them consistently. I tried having them in multiple planners initially when I started this system. However, I kept losing things and I kept like having to rewrite things over and over. So I just decided to put everything in one spot. And that's why I recommend that you do that as well. What do you have listed out on the right hand side? So my right hand side can change. It varies from thing to thing. So in this particular week, I basically had here all of my social media. So this is when I was just posting and just putting all of my social media. However, the current week that I am currently in, I will put just it will be social media, but it's also additional things that I need to do. Like I said, my daughter had to go to the dentist. I will write it in red and then write in black as well. I kind of go back and forth. Usually I'm writing in black before that thing happens, and then I will write in red after that thing happens, like kind of adding in the additional details. That's just how I like to do it. But this is just another spot for additional to-dos, and that is how I like to use mine. Yours could be, I've seen people use it for meal planning a lot. I've also seen people use it for their workouts or to monitor their routines, their skincare. There are so many things that you could use this planner for, or this side for. So that is really up to you. It's completely customizable. It depends on how you feel like you need to use it best. I like to use it mainly for keeping up with my to-dos and my social media. To-dos in multiple areas and my social media. What are both pages, left and right? Yes. So the planner itself, the planner layout is called a dashboard layout. So there are different planner layouts. There is the hourly layout, where it's like 6 a.m. to like 10 p.m. and you are planning out the entire week, but it's by the hour. The dashboard layout, which is the one that I am showing on the screen right now, the dashboard layout is where you usually have like boxes, kind of an overview for your week on the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side, as you can see, there are these 4 boxes where it's your priorities, your errands, your to-dos, and your calls. And then the weekly side, Monday through Sunday, and your notes are on the right side of the page. And this is the one that I like to use for like lists and things like that. However, you can use it in a variety of ways, however you decide. But this particular layout is called the dashboard layout. It's the dashboard planner layout. And then there's a horizontal layout. There's also vertical layout. And the other planner layout is my budget planner. So it's a budget planner layout. But this particular way that the planner is set up is called a dashboard planner layout. And each one of these planners that I'm talking about is a 12-month undated planner. So if you said, you know what, I don't want all of the different types, I just want one 12-month undated planner, you could definitely do that as well, especially if your life isn't super busy. You might say, I don't need all of those sections. I just want one planner that's going to help me to stay on top of everything. I like using multiple different planner layouts for different sections of my life, mainly because it helps me to kind of organize that particular section the way that I want to see it. I don't feel like I have the right type of space in order to plan out all of the to-dos that I have on my hourly layout. I can't really do that here because I have times that I'm trying to block out things, and then I don't have enough space within the time that I've added something to say, oh, these are all the things that I'm going to do within this time frame. It's just not enough space here. So this is why I will use the dashboard layout to write out all of the different lists that I have and all the things that I am planning to do around that time. So for the most part, I am using it for like work and really staying on top of a lot of my work items. However, I've also used it for personal items as well. So that is how the dashboard works for me. Is it overwhelming to have so many planners? So not the way that I use them, not the way, because for the way my setup works, I'm only setting up my hourly planner and my to-do planner on a weekly basis. Everything else, which we're going to talk about, my horizontal planner, which is I use for faith, I'm using that on a daily, which means that I write in it every single day, and then I'm not really setting it up. And my budget planner is my budget planner. So I'm only setting it up usually once a week, and then I'm just kind of checking in on it. So for how I use mine, they are super, super, super functional, which means that I'm really writing in it as I need it, as I go, checking off things. And it's not a full setup in the traditional sense of how most planner girls set up. It's not like I use stickers, but they are super, super functional. And even if you look at this, I have like 5 or 6 stickers here. I have one right here, and then I just have my header stickers. And that is really how I plan across the board. Usually you will see functional stickers, small stickers, and like colorful boxes. And that's really kind of it because I use so many planners, and because I really just like to stick to the system of making sure that they are functional and useful for me and not overwhelming. So I feel like once you go over 6, though, I think no matter what, if you have more than 6 planners, it's going to be overwhelming. That's my that has just been my experience. I have never been able to go over 6 planners and not feel overwhelmed. Normally, I will feel overwhelmed no matter what if I have more than 6. How many months do you keep in my? So I only keep 1 month currently in my planner. Sometimes I will do 2 months. The Tom 90 planner itself does come with 3 months. However, because I will add in note paper and I will add in additional things that I might need, I will also add in daily inserts in my planner as well when I need to replan my day. So I only keep 1 month at a time, and I keep the other 2 months off to the side, and I will just usually reset it every single month. I will just pull out the pages that I no longer am using, put it back into the original planner that it came out of, and then put in the new planner sheets. So I do that at the end of every single month. And I'm actually going to be doing that in Friday's video. I'm going to be showing you how I'm setting up my planner for the month of April. I do it on YouTube every single month. All right. So I've always wondered about that when people talk about dashboard. Yeah, I know planner terminology. It can feel like a club, and I feel like I've been using this terminology for so long. Sometimes I completely forget that people are very new to planners and using them, and the terminology may seem very confusing. But it's really, when you're talking about layouts, we're just talking about the way the planner looks. Each one, they have multiple planners that are really, really set up in different ways and how they're structured. So this is the dashboard layout if you're not familiar with it. All right, let's get into the other 2 planners that I recommend. The next planner that I recommend it's very, very personal to me. However, I'm going to talk about it from another side of how I've seen other people use it. And this is my horizontal planner. So my horizontal planner I use for my spiritual life. So I'm mainly doing my Bible studies, my faith planning in this particular planner. However, even if you don't do like Bible studies and you're not a Christian, or possibly you're not into that, another way that you could use this planner that I have seen is for personal development. It's for personal development. I've seen people use this for reading planners. I've seen them use it for learning planners, as a journal to write down your thoughts. The main idea behind this particular planner, though, is that you need a spot where you can download all of your learning, personal development, or what's going on mentally. And the reason why is because it all can't be about your to-do list, your schedule, your appointments, your just writing down all the things that you need to do. You need a spot that's going to help you with your mental space. Have you ever, and y'all can put it in the chat box, have you ever had a time where you woke up and you felt like, okay, I should be getting my day going, but you feel like you have this like mental fog and you just can't get started. You don't feel productive. You don't feel active. Like for some reason, you just can't get things moving. And that usually happens when we're so clouded in our head that we can't push past and we can't like get our day going. We can't be productive. We just like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but for some reason I just can't get started. I can't do it. I end up just laying on the couch and I'm just in a complete fog. Like I just feel like I can't think. I feel like that happens to us a lot. And when it happens, we will shut down. We have our to do list. We just won't do anything. But there's no way to process or get out of the fog. There's no way to process. So, your horizontal planner, your journal planner, whatever you want to call it, for me, it is my Bible study planner, my faith planner. This is the planner that helps me to kind of get myself back on track. So this is the one where I can pray, I can do my Bible studies, I can just get out of my mental fog whatever is going on in my head, and it gets me back on track. It definitely gets me back on track. And so this is the one that I recommend, to where even if you don't use it for faith, you use it as a way to journal, to get out of your mental fog, to process ideas, to brain dump, whatever the case may be. Something that's going to help you with your mental space if you get cloudy, or something's going to help you with processing your emotions, or something's going to help you with processing and getting productive again. So that is what this planner is for. I've seen people do it on sheets of paper and in like a brainstorming notebook or things like that. You can definitely do that as well. I like using my faith planner because I just feel like it helps me to stay centered. And I also really, really stay on top of my Bible studies and things like that. So I use it a little bit differently. However, I just recommend that you have some type of personal development or something that you're doing to get your mind back on track. And the best place to do that is using either a monthly planner or a horizontal planner. I feel like those two are some of the best ones that you can use to help you with that mental fog and help you to get right back on track. Okay, let me go through some of the questions. Colorful boxes in your Etsy shop. Yes, I do have them in my Etsy shop. I don't think I have them linked in the description box right now, but after I jump off today's live, I will make sure, let me write it down, that I add them to the description box. But yes, the colorful boxes are within my Etsy shop. They're my favorite. I have mid-size and small. I use them constantly. I use them all the time. In like every plan with me, you're going to see colorful boxes because I just love them so, so, so much. All right. How would you organize your communications if you had to do contact clients on a weekly basis? So how do I do that? Because I currently do that. I don't talk about it in this particular slide, but let me share with you really quick how I do this. So I have a monthly planner. So the Tom 90 system comes with 4 planners. It comes with a hourly planner, a dashboard planner, a horizontal planner, and a budget planner. I just talked about the horizontal. We're going to talk a little bit about the budget in a second, but that's the 4 planner. You get 3 months of all 4 of those planners. However, I do have some people who are saying, yes, I want all 4 of those, but I also want to add like an additional section. So I have 6 planners within my system. Within my Tom 90 planner, I have 6. I recommend that you don't go over 6. I'd say 4 to 6. I have 6. So with my, the 5th planner that I have within my system is a monthly planner. So let me show you what the monthly planner looks like really quick. My monthly planner, let me switch this back so that you can see. But my monthly planner is basically, it looks like this, where I will add in, I have my monthly overview, and then I have like my calendar. And on my calendar is where I will list out different meetings that I have with different clients. And I will just kind of mark off what meetings I have with certain people on that day. And then after that, I have my monthly planner. Monthly planner is just basically it's a monthly calendar and then note sheets. So we have like 5 or 6 pages of note sheets where it just looks like lined sheets of paper for the entire month. And the reason why I set it up like this is because this is how I talk, like I kind of keep up with different things that's going on with my clients. So let's say I have a one-on-one meeting with a particular client. I will add it to my Google Calendar. I will say, oh, I'm going to meet with this person on this particular day. I will say, oh, we're going to meet on Tuesday at 2 p.m. And I add it to my Google Calendar. I add it to my schedule calendar. I add it to my monthly planner where I might just write on that day that I'm meeting with this client. On that day, I'm going to take notes within my monthly section of my planner. I'm going to write down everything that we talked about in our last meeting, in our meeting. Once we're meeting, I'm jotting down all the notes. After that, I may email that client. Usually I will email them and follow up and kind of send them an email based on everything that we have discussed and do it like a summary to them so that they know that they usually have homework. So usually I'm giving them their homework and I write down to myself all of the things that I will want them to do by the next section, next time that we're going to meet, our next session. So when that happens, when we decide that we're going to meet again, what I will usually do is I will, if it's a brand new month, I will look at my calendar and see the last time that I met with that client. So if I say, oh, I met with them last month on last Tuesday at this date, I will pull my monthly planner. It could either be, if it's still the same month, I will look in my current monthly planner. If it is not, I will look at the last month that I have in my monthly planner and I will look at my notes there. It is the best way for me to organize and know what we have talked about in our last session. The last time that I talked to you, what was the homework? What was where were you on your journey? How is everything going? And I am able to easily see all of my notes because my notes are organized by month. Then I can just say, even if I'm looking at Google Calendar, I can look and see the last time that I met with that person and then go to the planner. Or I can look in my planner and see the last time I met with them and flip through my monthly notes to see everything that happened in that last session and the last time that we talked. So I have the monthly planner where it's just a monthly calendar and just note pages. And that is how I keep track of how I keep my clients organized or how I, stay on top of what's going on with each one of them. Now, I could do this electronically as well. I definitely could type it out. Sometimes I will, but I feel like sometimes it's really distracting when I'm talking to a client and I'm just like typing. I don't know. I rather write something down really quick. And then that way I feel like I can stay a little bit more engaged than if they're talking and I'm just like clacking right next to them. It's just a personal preference. I rather write. And this has been a great way for me to stay on top and stay organized with everything that we have talked about in our session together. And I can easily flip through all of my notes in all of the different monthly planners and see where they were on their journey. So that's how I do it. Like I said, the monthly planner doesn't come with it. However, if you wanted to switch out another planner, like if you say, I rather the monthly instead of the horizontal, you can definitely do that as well. On Etsy, you just put a note to the seller. There's a section where you can add note to the seller and you could just say, I will switch out dashboard for the monthly or switch out my horizontal for the monthly planner instead or the daily planner instead. You can definitely do that as well. All right, next question. What do you think about keeping all 12 months in your planner? I feel like I have each of them in one of them in my planners. Is that for So here's the thing. You can keep 12 months. Well, you cannot keep 12 months of all four planners. Your planner would be huge. And I have, now I do have like, all 3 months of the four planners on the expander disc. So I will keep it on the expander disc. That way I can just easily pull pages in and out. I do not keep them all together because my planner would be huge and I don't like the having it to be too big. I feel like it makes it hard for me to flip back and forth and to easily get to the different pages within my planner. However, if you only have one planner, then of course, or two planners, I feel like you could definitely do all of them within one book. You could definitely do that and probably just have them on expander disc. But I like the 1-inch gold disc, which looks like this. So since mine is the 1-inch gold disc, I can't have all 12 planners. But I like being able to easily like just carry this around and keep everything on me. So I think it's a personal preference, but if you feel like that will work, try it out. Why not? If you hate it, change it back. I am going to save this live. I am definitely going to save this live. So it will be up on my YouTube channel. If you need to jump, no problem at all. You could definitely catch it later on. Is this faith planner in my Etsy shop? It is. It is called the horizontal planner though. So it's not called my faith planner. It is called my horizontal planner, but I use it as a faith planner. And also if you decide you wanted to use another kind, I've also used my monthly planner as a faith planner in the past. But I am currently using a horizontal. And how I use it, I mainly have like my verse of the day on my monthly spread. So I will use it with just kind of writing in all of my verse of the days. And then after that, you have my actual weekly, this is for me, weekly Bible studies. So I will be praying for different things or keeping track of different things. And I will use the horizontal layout in order to stay on top of my Bible studies. So sometimes it's a Bible study of what my husband preached on Sundays. So it could be a sermon study. It could be a character study. I've done a Bible character study. I have done a chapter of the Bible or a certain book of the Bible. Where I've done a deep dive into that. There are so many different ways that I've used this planner, but it's one of my favorites because, like I said, this is the one that I use to keep my mental space in check. And whenever I am not in it for an amount of time, I can feel the difference. You know, it's kind of like if you didn't work out, you can feel that your body feels off. I feel the same way if I'm not in my faith planner. If I'm not in my faith planner, my brain feels like foggy. Like I'm like, oh, I need to do some type of Bible study. I need to get myself back on track because I feel off. So that is exactly why I use it so often. Your handwriting is so beautiful. Thank you. Did you practice to be readable for everybody, or was it always like this? So I was one of those weird kids who would write over and over and over. I have always loved writing. Ever since I was small, I always had composition notebooks. I had diaries. I had journals. I had planners. I've always had them. And since I was like 10 years old, and I had them for a very long time, up until I was 25. But if you know, I live in New Orleans, and at 25, Hurricane Katrina hit. And I lost them all in Hurricane Katrina because I only took 3 days of clothes, thinking that I was going to be right back. And that is how I lost all my planners, all my journals, all my diaries. Everything was gone with the water. But ultimately, I have always loved writing and always practiced writing. Why? I don't know. It was just like, I just love writing in caps. And I think I started to fall in love with writing like less in cursive and more just initialing in caps letters as I got a little bit older. And so I've been doing it ever since. And so I love when people compliment because it was like, it's something that I have always loved to do, but just recently when I started a YouTube channel is when it became a thing. People used used to always comment on it when I was in school as well, though. Uh, Keeping my YouTube content is organized is hard for me. Yes, 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 yes. So I have also used my dashboard planner in order to keep my YouTube channel organized. Let me show you really quick how I will do that. But if you can see, this is how I will kind of schedule out what I'm going to post, what I'm going to do. All of that will be on my monthly spread within my dashboard planner. So I will write out what classes are going to go for Organize You, what videos I'm going to post to YouTube. All of that will go on here. If you are pursuing YouTube or any social media, for instance, if people always ask me, how are you keeping up with Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and doing classes and memberships? It is only because of my planner. It is the only reason. So I will map out what videos I'm going to post, when I'm going to go live, when I'm going to do a particular class, what day that's going to happen. All of that will be on my monthly spread. And then on my weekly spread is where I'm writing down all of the different to-dos and the things I need to accomplish for those, for my social media. So if you have seen, even when I showed you this week, I have the organized money. These are just like regular tasks that I need to do, like sponsored videos, things I need to write, things like that will go on this side. But on the opposite side will be what I am filming, because filming for social media is a very big part of my job. And so I will keep track of all of that there as well. Can we see the different sizes? Yes. Let me see if I can. Oh, here you go. So this is the classic size. And the classic size, and I can show you this as well. It's like, it is a little bit smaller than the bigger size. So just for comparison, this is the big size, this is the smaller size. So this is 7 by 9.25. And some people really like this size because you could just carry it around. You could throw it in your bag. It is a little bit lighter, a little bit easier. However, I like the space. If you need a lot of space, I recommend this one. However, if you're like, I don't need all of that, I don't need the extra space, then you could definitely do the smaller size. But this is how they look kind of in comparison. Hopefully you can really be able to tell. There's just like this much more. But and no matter what size you get, they all come with 4 different parts. So if you have more questions on the exact Tom 90 planner, I can definitely, you can shoot me a message and all of that. We could talk more about it. What do you think about just budgeting monthly? Because mostly I get paid every 2 weeks instead of just budgeting paycheck to paycheck, because I have both sheets. I recommend whatever's going to work best for you, whatever you're going to do consistently. So with my budget planner, and I'm starting this out, I'm trying this in my next budget with me video. I'm going to do this because this is something that has kind of been in my mind and in my heart to do. And it is set up my month and set up all of my paychecks right after I set up my month, like all at the same time. I believe I'm going to set up my monthly budget with me and my paycheck budget with me all at the same time. And it is because I'm trying to see if that saves me a lot of time on the setup side. So I usually will set up my month, and then every single Tuesday, I'm going to set up my payday. So I set up one payday, and then I will wait till the next Tuesday, set up another payday. Then the next one, I set up another payday. Well, this month, I'm going to try and set up my month and set up all 4 of my paydays, which is going to take me a little bit longer. However, if you are a person where routines are a little bit more challenging for you and you feel as though you might get off track, like I might set up my month, but I never come back and set up my paychecks, then try that. Definitely try that. There is no wrong way to set up your budget as long as you're doing it. As long as you're doing it and you love it and you are using it, you kind of can't go wrong. So I say try it out, see how it works for you. And if it doesn't work or you feel like you're not using it enough, then try something else. But definitely try it. That's what I'm trying this month as well. I'm gonna try and set up everything all at the same time. How long do you keep your planners? So how do I keep them? I keep them on a bookshelf. So I have a bookshelf right to my left here, and I have them all on my bookshelf, and I keep them for. It depends on the planner. For my hourly planner, which is my life planner, I can keep that planner up to 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years. I have 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I have six of those. I've kept them for 6 years. And the reason why is because, like I said, that's the hub. That's the everything in one book. Like that is my main planner that I'm going to use for all of my areas. And so I keep that one the longest. I will keep those up to 5 years. Every other planner, though, except for my budget, I will toss after 2 years. So it could be my to-do list planner. That one is probably the one that I will get rid of the quickest. And it's just because it doesn't have the same sentimental value as my faith planner. My faith planner is another one that I will keep for a very, very long time because I love to look back in my past studies. I love to see my growth. I love to see like how I have progressed along and the different things that I have studied within the Bible. So I will keep that one like pretty much forever as well. But besides for my life planner, I feel like I keep that one really long. My faith planner, I will keep that one a really long time. All the other ones probably will be tossed after 2 to 3 years, including my budget planner, because with my budget planner, after about 3 years, my budget is completely different. It is not even worth looking back on. So I will toss that one as well. Is the new budget planner cover sold separately? No, I don't think it is, but I can add it to my shop if you are really, really interested in this particular cover. I think I just designed this one with the actual planner, but I can definitely put it in my shop. I just need to remind myself, wrote it down. Okay. Let's talk really quickly about the last planner that I have within this system and the additional things that you can put within your customizable planner. But like I said, this is my faith planner. This is the one that I use for horizontal. This is my personal development. This is my mental headspace. This is keeping me on track and keeping me sane. That's the one that I will use for that. And then the last one, or the fourth one in this system, it's not my last planner, but it is another planner within this system. It's the last one in this one, and it is my budget planner. So the budget planner is another one that I've shown a lot on my channel. I use it for budgeting, saving, investing, sinking funds, debt reduction. All the things that are money related are going in this one. This is how I'm managing my money routines, managing my bills, all of that. And I will just put on my monthly spread on the calendar, I'm going to put all of the bills. And then when I move over to the monthly budget paycheck sheet, I'm going to break down my entire monthly budget and my paycheck budgets. And like I said, this month I am going to try to set them all up because I do believe that it may help me when it is time to like plan out the different things that I need to plan for our money throughout the month. All right, so let's talk really quickly about additional sections that you could possibly have. These are not all the ones that I have. However, you may need them. So I do have a section within my planner for my daily planning. My daily planning is when my day gets completely thrown off and I need to replan my day. I have daily sheets or a daily planner in here for that specific purpose. It's not one that I use all the time, but I do have a section in here as well. And the other section that I have, I shared with you a little bit earlier, and that is for my notes, my client notes, So the daily planner and my client notes are what makes up the 6 sections of my planner. However, like I said, the Tom 90 planner comes with 4, and you could possibly just say, you know what, I just need the 4, or you could add additional things. The other ones that I have had in the past, I have had a church planner, I have had my reading planner, which right now I'm kind of using my notes to kind of keep track of different books that I am reading as well. So I will use it for meeting notes, for reading, for learning. A lot of things will go in there as well. My social media, I've used my dashboard planner for social media in the past. I've also just had random sheets of for brainstorming. And right now, mainly that's going in my notes section. But if you need to like process and just brain dump, you may need a section that is specifically for brain dumping and just kind of getting everything out of your head. Another thing that you could possibly use is your home planner or your meal planner, and having a planner dedicated to that. I do not have a planner completely dedicated to my home because a lot of that is within my routines, is within my schedule planner. I will just decide when I'm going to do things. And for the most part, all of my home routines are pretty much memorized. So I don't really need a dedicated home planner to kind of check off exactly when I'm going to do it, because I do it the same time every single time. It's literally the same thing. Same thing with our meals. My family, we eat pretty much the same things. We have our meals on rotation. And so for the most part, we have a set routine, and I don't need a dedicated meal planner. I found myself just kind of writing the same things over and over and over. I do have meal planning sheets. I don't use them all the time though, because for the most part, my meals are pretty standard. So if you also have a hobby, you may want to have a hobby planner or just one that you plan in for fun. I used to do this when I had a little bit more time, where I would kind of write in the different things that, or just kind of plan just the plan, or plan for fun, or plan for like just memory keeping and things like that. And it was definitely fun when I had the time to do it. And I definitely see myself going back to it when I have more time. But for now, I'm just sticking to the ones that I absolutely have to have, just because I'm so limited on time. So this is how you could customize yours. But the goal of this is not that you have a bunch of different sections in your planner just to say that you have them. We want to make sure that you are putting sections within your planner that you're actually going to use, that you really, really, really need to have within your system. So you want to make sure that you are thinking this through, and that you are thinking through, okay, what are the areas that I absolutely need to have? For me, I know that those 4 are the ones that I recommend the most, that you have something to plan out your schedule, something to manage your to-dos, something to manage your mind and how you're feeling on a daily basis, and something to manage your money. If you have those 4, you are really, really good with basically staying on top of everything that you need to stay on top of with your life. All right, let's get into some of your questions. Let's think into some of your questions. I think I answered that one. Oh, I think I answered that one. Where do I keep my goals? Great, great question. So within my schedule planner, you have your you have the weekly, well, the monthly, where I have my monthly, where I can kind of break down the entire month and everything that's going to happen on the month. I also have the weeks, where I break down all of my weeks and what's going to happen during the week. But my goals are set up on my monthly overview page of my schedule planner. So for every planner that I have, you have like some type of monthly overview where you can kind of plan out what's coming up for the month. This is where I keep my goals. So I have a goal section. I have the book that I am currently reading, the habits that I'm trying to do for this upcoming month. I keep it on my monthly overview section, and I will say, okay, these are the goals that I have for this month. And so if I have decided that this quarter I want to accomplish like 4 or 5 goals, then I will break down those goals by the month. and say, what month am I going to accomplish this? What month do I have to accomplish this? That kind of thing. That's how I usually will break them down. Can you get the hourly, weekly, untimed? Ooh. So for the most part, it comes like, I think the best one I would tell you to do is just do the vertical planner if you're going to do it untimed, because the vertical planner is where you get like basically the 3 boxes, and you can definitely do that, and you could just kind of plan out everything that's going to happen in an entire day, and it's just one vertical box, and you just write in everything that's going to happen. So that would be my recommendation if you don't want it to be timed. Thank you. Thank you for pressing the like button. If y'all would please press that like button, it helps me out so much with the algorithm. Would be cool to see how you store them on a bookshelf, make them easy to retrieve if needed. Yes, I'm definitely going to have to do it in a separate video because I can't turn the camera where I am right now. But basically, it is on a bookshelf. They're all like standing up. I have the book ends on them. And then anytime I need one, I could just easily pull it off the shelf. It makes it really, really easy for me to store them, really easy for me to look back if something is happening throughout the year and I need to look back at a previous month and see what's happening. Because remember, I only keep the current month within my planner. So it makes it really, really easy for me to kind of see what's happening, what's not happening. So I will look into doing, maybe I'll do it in my weekly reset video. I might show you how, or my monthly reset video. I think I'm gonna do that, is I'll show you exactly how I store them and how you're able to use them. I have the budget and faith planners. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that they're helping you and that they are working for you. Do you do monthly goal, not yearly? So for the most part, I do have my annual goals. However, I just kind of write them down. I love to break them down by the quarters and the months. And it's only because I feel like when I write them down annually, they just still feel so big. They feel so massive. But when I break them down to quarters and months, they feel way more tangible. Like I can actually do this within the month. So I might have something really, really big on my annual goal, and it might be something as big like, oh, write a book. Okay, if I say I'm going to write a book, how am I going to write that? And then I'll break it down and say, okay, this month I'm writing my outline for this book, or this month I'm thinking of topics or titles or something like that. Yeah, that's how I like to do it. Don't understand how you can use your system in this digital world. I get it. I definitely get it. Do I mix it? I mix it a little bit. So I will use Google Calendar in order to stay on top of different appointments, especially if I have like Zoom calls and meetings. I definitely use my calendar for that. However, for me, this is just personal. Every time I have tried to use an app, I find myself not opening the app or not checking things off or feeling more clouded. I just feel like I cannot function in an app. It's too much kind of going on. I keep getting dings or notifications. I put my phone down and then I would walk away from it. And now I done forgot something that I'm supposed to do. For some reason, I have way more peace when it's just pen and paper. My mind shuts off. It feels easier to me. I can just easily check off. It does not work like that for everyone. If you are a digital person and you love digital, you keep doing digital. If that works for you, definitely keep doing whatever works for you. Personally, it did not work for me. It just didn't. I needed to be able to process, and the best way for me to process was to write things down. And so even though analog is not popular, I know in the world of Notion and all of these other amazing apps that are out there, a lot of people feel like, apps are the wave of the future. For me, it has always been pen and paper, and I don't see that changing. Now, I do have a little bit of a hybrid to where I will use my notes if I don't have like the notes app on my phone. If I don't have my planner in front of me, I will use my Google Calendar. If I don't have my planner in front of me, I do have substitutes when I don't have my planner. But I promise you, I will take whatever I have used as the substitute I will always come back and write it down in my planner by the end of the night. I have to, or I will feel like, um, I will still feel like I'm not going to be able to get that thing done. So it's super helpful for me. To each its own, though. If it doesn't work, I definitely understand. I just know a lot of people that it does work for. When the quarter ends, what do you do with your planner? Do you throw it away or you store it in a place? Oh, no, I store it. I'm definitely going to store it for a couple of years. And for the most part, I will have at least 2 to 3 years of a planner before I'm even thinking about tossing it. So I will definitely have some I would definitely have like a shelf of like, I'll put them, usually I put them together in one big book, to where it's like it's on my expander disc, and it may be the first half of the year, like 6 months of the year in this planner for 2019, and 6 months of the next half of the year for 2019. So I'll have like 4 or 5 of those on my shelf, and then I can easily pull and see where I am, and I can easily flip back and forth through them. But I do store them on a bookshelf for at least 4 or 5 years, and some of them I just keep them because I really, really love them. And it could be like 7, 8 years before I am ready to part with them. Oh, thank you so much. So happy that it is helping you. Hopefully, it like really, really helps you on your journey. Hey, Lauren. Can you share some ideas on what to categorize your hobby planner? I crochet right now, and I am going to make a business just prepping my products for December. Oh, congratulations. We love crochet. Love it. So for my hobby planner, there are different things that I will keep in there. Like for instance, when I knew I wanted to create my sticker shop, this is before I had an actual sticker shop. So you could possibly keep design ideas. I would write down different stickers that I wanted to create, and I would add that into my hobby planner. Or I would write down the ones that I have created, and thinking of quirky names for some of the things that you have. So for instance, now that you're crocheting, you could possibly have an ideas of different things that you want to crochet. You can have a list of things that you have crocheted that you're going to add into your shop. You can think of different materials that you want to purchase, and add a section for all of the materials. So I'm thinking of like the dashboard planner. We can have a section for the materials, how much money you have spent on this hobby, what design ideas that you possibly have, what designs you have already created, thinking of quirky names for them, thinking of different colors that you're going to mix to create different things. But as you are creating for this particular hobby, as you are putting things down or designing different things, this is a great space for you to keep track of all of the ideas that you could possibly have. So it is a way to kind of process, and a way to keep track and not lose any of the ideas that you have, especially if you're prepping for December. December is a nice little while away, and you don't want to be saying, wait, what did I say I was going to call this back in March, right? So it's a great way to stay on top of all of the different ideas that you have, is to have a hobby planner and to keep track of everything there. I'm late to the party, but is there a preferred brand or style of discbound ring that you prefer? Ooh, so I order mine in bulk. So let's see, the ones that I do like though, because these I do have them in my shop if you're interested in there. However, if you want to try another kind other than the ones that I have, you could try Happy Planner. I don't have any Happy Planners on me right now. But they usually have a design. Usually there's a heart in between, or some type of circle, or some type of star. There's some type of design in the disc. I also really love Arc disc, and Tool, I think, has some really nice discs as well. So and I like those because they are the circular metal kind. And I feel like they the metal kind make it easier for you to flip through your book. And hack, just in case you get, let's say you get a brand new Tom 90 planner and you are finding it hard to turn the pages. It does take a minute for your rings to turn easily. The best thing that you can do is get some dryer sheets. Get a dryer sheet, pull out one of your dryer sheets and rub it on your rings, and it will make the rings looser and make the pages easier to turn. So that's just another hack. When they are brand new, sometimes it's hard to turn the pages, but if you put a dryer sheet on there, it will make it much, much easier for you to turn the pages. And that's what basically all of the new metal discs. The plastic discs, you can just kind of get away with not using the dryer sheets. However, I prefer the metal ones. I think that they last much, much longer. All right. Any other questions? So, do you have to buy it in the next 3 months? You can. I have people who have bought 3 months. I also have people who have gone, like also within my shop, you could buy 6 months. You could buy the whole 12 months. You could say, I want all 4 planners, all 12 months. You can definitely do that as well. Most people will purchase the 3 months. And the reason why they will do that is because they will adjust what they want. If you are a planner girl that likes to switch it up, I recommend 3 months, because the dedication that you have to make to stick with your planner for 6 to 12 months sometimes does not work for people who really, really like to switch it up and love to try different planner layouts, which is why I went with the 3-month system. Is because I know a lot of people who will start using a planner layout, realize they hate it and want to switch it, or realize it works for this quarter, but they want to switch it up for the very next one. So I always say recommend. Now, if you know that you are a planner girly who's going to stick to her planner for the entire year, then I would say either pick one of them and get 12 months, or you can definitely get the Tom 90 for all 12 months. Definitely up to you. I am a woman that has a slow memory, and I say thank you for this planner because it's a great tool for me to remember the part and things that I have to do. Me too, girl. I think that I needed one spot that I can look for everything, because I just kept forgetting where I would put different things, and it was really, really challenging for me. And it started off with my money, and then ultimately over time, I just said, oh no, I need everything. I need it to be everything in this one spot. So it's definitely helpful to have it in one spot. How often do you use your home cleaning sheets? So I so love it because it helps me stay on top of my cleaning my apartment when I don't want to. So I usually will pull out my sheets, and actually I'm probably about to do a video soon during my spring cleaning. I love to use them quarterly, because every quarter is when I will do a really big clean of my home. And then that's when I will pull out my cleaning sheets, add a section within my planner, make it a bottom tab, make it an insert, and use my cleaning sheets as I am doing some type of deep cleaning in my home. I will do the exact same thing if it is holiday time. Then I will do meal planning, because during the holidays, I'm preparing for meals. I'm like my planning is a little bit different. So I will add in those sections when I need them for those particular things. So that's how I kind of structure that. How do you plan when most of your day and night are booked by work? So I would first, you may not want to use the hourly planner, depends. Or you could just bypass the hours on the side if you still want to use the hourly planner. Now, I like to use it even though like my 9 to 5 is all work. I will still add in all the things that I need to do for work within my hourly planner. If you want to plan just your mornings and evenings, like let's say you have you have a flexible schedule, you may say, okay, on my days off, I'm going to use this vertical planner in order to plan for my days that I have off, or for the days that I get off early. And you could plan around those things. I have a client who, she plans her days on a vertical planner, and she only plans by the subject. So instead of planning my entire schedule of what she's doing for the day, she will plan. Um, she will plan for like, what am I doing for home? It'll be a home section within her planner, and it will be family time in her planner and meal planning in her planner. So instead of planning her day, she's planning the things that she has to do in the multiple sections. And like I said, you could use a dashboard planner for this, where you are planning out just the sections or the life things that you have to do, and you're not worried about the work stuff. Instead of trying to plan by the hour or planning your entire day. Do you sell the bottom and top tabs? Yes. So basically, they're all top tab dividers. They're all top tabs, but I just use them in a variety of ways. So I will either flip them this way, or I will flip them the opposite way and make them bottom tabs. But I do have the top tabs, bottom tabs, and side tabs all within my Etsy shop. And for the top / bottom tabs, you get 4 to a pack. For the side tabs, you get 6 to a pack. So it's 6 side tabs and 4 top and bottom tabs. All right. I love everything about the Tom 90 planner. Thank you. It's just the bills and subscription tracker sheet that I have a challenge with, but otherwise, yeah, the bills and subscriptions, I found that if you don't have a bunch of them, it can feel like you're not getting a great use out of them. Like, I don't have many bills and subscriptions on this sheet as far as my monthly subscriptions, and I will usually put them on my monthly pages as well to kind of stay on top of it. But I do feel like I use them a lot when it comes down to those annual subscriptions that I will forget about. I don't use them as much for my monthly, but I really use it for my quarterly, like to manage like car insurance and the annual stuff that's coming up, like our medical insurance. How do you track business expenses for taxes? So I do have QuickBooks for my business because I have a CPA and I have to make sure that she has everything that she needs. So I will use Excel and QuickBooks in order to manage all of the business stuff. So a lot of times I will write it in my planner. I still end up writing stuff in my planner, but I will definitely transfer that stuff, either managing it in QuickBooks or in Excel, and making sure that it's where it needs to go. Because when I send her all of my paperwork and everything that she needs at the end of the year, she has everything. I also will scan the receipts. If you didn't know, QuickBooks, you can scan the receipts and attach them to that actual transaction in QuickBooks. So I will do that as well. So then that way she has the transaction, she has a picture of the receipt, and she knows exactly how to set it up for the deduction that I am trying to get. Yes, I do. I think I've answered that one. Can you get the planner without the rings or covers? So you can definitely get it without the cover. You do not have to get the black cover. The rings though, they come with every planner. And that is because it's the only way that I can really send the planner without it falling apart in the packaging. However, if you wanted to get the downloads, you can definitely get downloads of each one of these planners and print them out definitely on your own, and not have to worry about gold rings. But if you get the Tom 90 planner, it automatically comes with the gold rings, because that's the only way. If I try and ship it without them, it's going to be a mess. Like, I know the Postal Service has not done well with my products without them having some type of system to keep them all together. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me for this one. Like I said, if you wanted to work with me more on one-on-one, of course, you could DIY this entire thing. Get yourself a Tom 90 planner. I have the link in my description box. If you have any more questions about my system, about how you could possibly create your own, you can definitely email me or you can message me on Etsy. I am always over there as well. I answer within 24 hours. The next thing you could possibly do is book a one-on-one call. I have people who will book one-on-one calls because they want me to create a customizable planner for them, and they want to make sure that they have everything in their system the way that they want it. And so they will book a call instead. And so that's in my description box as well. Or of course, you could join the Organize You membership if you want to learn more about organizing your life, your money, your business, all on paper. We have a Facebook group. We have monthly classes. This month, we are diving into the book that we are currently reading, which is Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. I'm going to be talking more about this book and diving into all of the details within it. So that's going to be Thursday's class for all of my Organize You members. All right. I think that is it. Let's see. One more question. How do you effectively plan if your schedule changes monthly? I plan every single month. I will usually adjust my planner for the month. And when I have a future section within my planner, and my future section is just where I keep portrait style calendars, and I would just kind of keep up with what's coming up in the very next month, since I don't have the entire year within my planner. So I have April, I have May, I have June, all within this future section. And that is how I'm keeping up with what comes up in the upcoming months. But I will adjust my planner and write in everything that's coming up for this month. So like, for instance, on Friday, I'm planning out the entire month of April, and I'm looking at all of the changes, all of the adjustments, anything that I need to do for the month of April. I'm going to start off by using this portrait style calendar that I already have in here for the month of April. I'm going to take all of these current things that I have on here and transfer them into my monthly planner. And then I'm going to look at any adjustments or anything that's coming up and just kind of flow with that. The biggest thing that you need to realize is that when we are planning, it is not a done deal. We are never planning something and it's just automatically, this is how it's going to happen. What we create is, I hope that this happens the way that I have put this down. And then when things change, we just start to make adjustments to our planner. It's the best way to make sure that you are more fluid and your planner actually works for you. Because if not, you're only going to get frustrated that your plans aren't going the way that you have designed them to go. But the way that I set mine up is I set it up for the perfect circumstance, and then I make adjustments. I scratch things out. I put white out. I say, nope, that didn't happen. And then I make things adjusted all the time. So that's the way to look at your planner, as like a moving document. It's a working document. It is not a done deal. This is exactly how it's going to go. And that's going to help you to stick with planning in the future. All right. I know you said this a while ago, but I set up my bills weekly with a paycheck for that week, like you're planning. Oh, yes. I started doing this a while ago, and I started setting it up monthly and then setting up all my weeks. And it really, really helped me last month. So that's why I plan on trying to do it again and seeing how it works out for me. So thank y'all so much for joining me for today's class. Like I said, if you have any more questions about creating one book to help you to organize everything in one spot, make sure that you definitely, I'm going to link some additional videos that I've talked about on this topic where I share with you mine. I'm going to post another video in a couple of days on my exact planner. So if you want to see a flip through, you can definitely see that there. But like I said, if you have any questions on this particular setup or how you can create your own, you can definitely book a one-on-one, or you can just email me and ask your question. I would love to talk to you all about it. Oh, one last question before we go. What kind of pencil case do I use? This is my pencil case. It is linked under my Amazon favorites. It is my favorite of all time because I love to keep my pens and my highlighters in this front pocket. It makes it really, really easy for me to get to them. And in the inside, I have some additional pins, some scissors here. I also have a marker here. I have some stickers, and I have whiteout in the pocket here. So I love having this just all bundled up, and makes it really easy for me to stay on top of it. It's under my Amazon favorites, so I will link that in the description box as well. I think this was like $7, $8 maybe, but I love this thing. Love it. Been using it for like maybe a year now. Really, really love this one. So I'll link it below, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all week. I'll see y'all later.